Hi, I'm Paul Foster from Salt in Stratford-upon-Avon. I'm going to spend a bit of time talking about how to enhance beef using dry rubs, marinades, brines and things like that, how you can take it up to that next level. Key is buying the best quality you can possibly afford and then using these little techniques to enhance the beef, not to cover up or disguise a poor piece of meat. If I'm barbecuing, I tend to go for a dry rub, and I wouldn't complicate it by adding lots of different flavours. So I would use an equal quantity of salt and sugar, using a coarse sea salt, so you get a very slow osmosis. If you use table salt, it's going to be quite fast and it draws the moisture out a bit too much. And then I'd add equal quantities of ground cinnamon and ground cumin to that, and cover up a piece of brisket, for instance, for about 12 hours, wash it off, pat it dry, and cook it lovely and slowly on the barbecue and smoke it and capture all those flavours. And it will just give a real subtle background flavour. If using marinades, oil marinades are okay. They're never ever going to penetrate the meat, because meat is about roughly 75% water. Oil and water don't mix, so oil doesn't penetrate. So what you can do, if you wanted to flavour some steaks, for instance, get some thyme and garlic and rosemary, some classic aromats into the oil, and you can keep the steaks in that. You'll get a little bit of partial flavour on the outside. It won't tenderise at all. It will just naturally tenderise in itself as the meat breaks down. The only thing it does, it stops it oxidising, and it does help keep it for longer. So it's good in that sense, but for penetration, oil will never penetrate meat. So the beauty of marinating, brining, dry rubs is that it's so versatile. You've got all sorts of different cuts of beef, and ultimately, as long as you've got the best beef you can buy, whatever you're doing in terms of the rubs and flavouring it is personal to you. At the restaurant, I do a lot of brining. I think brining is very important because of osmosis, so that's the transfer of water. So when you brine a piece of meat, it actually adds water, as long as you don't do it too long. It's got to be at quite a low solution, less than 10% salt to liquid. Because osmosis brings water into the cells of the meat, you can impart a little bit of flavour. So some partially ground star anise, some fennel seeds, anything along those lines. Really aromatic spices work fantastic.